All right, guys, this is going to be episode 1 of a brand new series. We have a couple series coming out, but this is going to be episode 1 of Will It Run? I have been toting this abandoned vehicle around the last couple shops for like the last 5 years or so. It was abandoned by the customer. I don't have the title yet. We already filed for it, got the lien, everything was approved. I'm just waiting on the title in the mail. It ran when it was parked 5 years ago, but nothing has happened since. So this is going to be, again, the first episode of Will It Run? We have to buy an ignition because I lost the key in the multiple shop moves and multiple state moves. So since I don't have the title, I have to put a new ignition switch in it, which is what we're going to do. But this is going to be the first episode of Will It Run? Let's go. All right, guys, there it is. It is a 2014 Toyota Tundra. It's got about 188,000 miles on it. Been lugging it around every shop I've been to. Now it's time to do something with it. It's got a little bit of bump damage here. It was an old work truck. I can't even remember why it was in the shop. And this thing is absolutely filthy. Let's check it out. It's got all kinds of crap in it. It's absolutely filthy. I've removed some of the food trash that was in it. Kind of gathered a lot of leaves here. We've not done anything with it. We've just been toting it around. But it's a nice truck. I'd like to be able to use it for the around the town hauler for our enclosed race trailer going and getting customer cars. Oh God, there's a wasp. I don't want to stick my hand in there. It's got the 4.6 V8 in it. Towing capacity is about 7,000 pounds. But it definitely needs a good cleaning. Looks like the squirrels were in there hiding all of their goodies. But yeah, overall it's a great looking truck. It needs to be cleaned up, washed and all that. It needs new tires and the standard maintenance stuff. But before I dump any money into it, I need to figure out what was wrong with it and will it run? Let's get into getting this ignition off. So since I have lost the key and I don't have the title for it and I want to figure out if it runs, we've got to get the ignition out of there. I have another one. I got one from a junkyard with a key. The only caveat to that is I don't know if the ECM has to be programmed to this key that we're about to buy, or since the key is already programmed to that ignition we're going to be putting in, if we can just plug it in and go. So right here, we're going to cut the security rivet off and bend the bracket out of the way and get this ignition off of the column. Still has teeth on it. It's already better than the other one that we had when I bought it for plastic on accident. Got it. All right. So the rivet popped out of there, cut it flush. We have to reuse this bracket piece to bolt the other ignition on exactly where it goes, but we are gonna have to bend it out of the way. So we need to go get the pre-bar, bend this out of the way so we can pull it around, because it's got another one of those security rivets on top, and I'm not quite sure I'll be able to get to it. So let's go grab the pry bar. All right, let's see if we can bend, here we go. Bend that bracket out of the way. Oh no, that is attached to the column. It's like the wheel lock. I don't know how that's attached in there. Let me pry on it and see if I can't break it. Looks like it might have like a pin, just a pin drive in it. And that bracket way out of the way. See if I can't just slide it out of the physical column itself. Yep. There we go. Yeah, it's got that little lock on there that was catching in the side of the column. So that's the piece that we are taking out. I'm gonna go pick up the new one tomorrow from a local salvage yard. And again, I'm not quite sure if we have to get that ignition and that key programmed to the truck. If we do, it's gonna involve a pain in the butt tow over to the dealership. I might be able to do it with the scanner I have. I'm not 100% sure, but again, we want to see if it runs. If it runs, again, the title's already on the way. It was already approved. I'm just impatient and I didn't want to wait on the title to go get a key. $125 to get a whole ignition versus more than that to get a new key and the programming done. We're gonna stop here until tomorrow morning when I bring the new ignition switch and key in. We're gonna plug it all up and see if we can't get this thing fired up. I've already gotten the battery to come on. That's how I got the mileage off of the truck and all the other silly stuff. So I know how, 180 something thousand miles for one of these trucks is next to nothing. Truck's worth about anywhere between like 13 and 18 grand, I think is what Kelly Blue Book said. The whole point is to get it running if it runs and use it for our around town truck, hauling our enclosed trailer, picking up and dropping off customer cars and race cars. We'll be back tomorrow morning. All right, guys, so we went and got the new ignition switch. One thing we did notice that the ring around here was different on the other one. If anything, we'll have to get this programmed to the truck, but we'll have an active ignition with a key and all that other good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and install it. I'm going to set the lock in the column because that sets the depth. And then we're gonna bolt the bracket on and get it all tightened up, plug it in, and hopefully she starts. If anything, we should get ignition on and all that stuff. If we need to get it programmed, it should turn over but not start. But if we don't need to get it programmed, it should theoretically fire up. So let's put this in. All right, that's the depth set there. Take the bracket that aimed up. All right, we got a Phillips screwdriver. Let's get this out of the way. Bring this down, flip that guy up, and we have full access to the top side. All right, step down here. All right, let's get this guy somewhat screwed in.
Should do it again.
Sorry, I get nervous on the camera. All right, that's still seated. It's gonna be kind of tricky getting these screwed in with a little stubby screwdriver, but. So these security rivets, I noticed how the junkyard did it, and they just cut like a rivet or a screwdriver flat tip in it, and they were able to get them out. So I'm assuming that's how the junkyard does it when they need to sell an ignition switch, so no big deal. Definitely beats what we did yesterday, trying to hacksaw that damn thing out, but it's the only thing I knew to do. My big brain wasn't working. All right, so that's half set there. Get the top one in. All right, that's fairly tight in there. It's fairly tight on the column. Let me get everything hooked up that needs to be hooked up. If I remember where it goes, this guy goes meow. Once you get the wires laid into place, it's pretty obvious where everything goes. All right, it looks like we have everything attached. Everything kind of looks good here. I have no extra wires. Everything went into place exactly like it should. We have the key. Key unlocks everything as the airplane flies overhead. So let's get a battery on it and see what she does. Will she run or won't she? All right, let's see if the main jump pack will do it. The battery's quite old. We have a spare battery in the shop if we need to swap the battery out. Oh, I heard the key beep. That didn't happen before. Security light's flashing. It probably won't fire up. Yeah, we're gonna have to program the key, but she's turning over.
That's good.
She sounds okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to get the key programmed. I'm gonna check on YouTube to see if you can do a certain combination to see if you can get these. If not, I'll call out a locksmith and we'll get this key programmed to the truck. But she turns over. Sounds like it has very healthy compression. It looks like it has 0 fuel in it as well, but the security light on the key is flashing, which that's the immobilizer, which we had to switch over from the old ignition to get everything plugged in. We're gonna do a little bit of research to see if we can program this key by certain functions or whatever and see what we get. If not, we'll call out a locksmith today and we'll see if we can get this thing started. We'll be back. All right, guys, so as you can tell, the truck is in a different location and we're going to see if it runs. Fires right up. Fired right up. We pulled it back here so we could be closer to the tools rather than in front of the building. They're sitting for 5 years. Fired right up. I had to have the locksmith come out and make 2 keys because the combination of what we had bought didn't work and it wouldn't program. So we put the old ignition back in and he just made us 2 keys. So now it's time to get this thing cleaned up, defunctified, get all the nasty stuff off of here. We'll show you guys the progress, but it starts, it runs. So we're gonna build this into our around town truck to haul all of our race cars with our 24-foot trailer in the back. So. Holy crap. 5 years of tree crap. Man, this thing is filthy. There's stuff everywhere. Try not to get too close to any sensors or anything weird like that, but gotta get all this crap out of there. The way we can let it run. This will take a couple times, but all the acorns and stuff out of the valve cover area. Away from the headers, don't want fire starting. All right, we're back with another episode with an update on the Tundra. We took some time off for the holidays and New Year's, and I was in New Orleans with the high school marching band. Shout out to the marching band. And thank you, Cooper and David, for getting me sick. Bus one, you guys suck. I'm not sure if it was Cooper or David, but I'm gonna blame it on Cooper anyway. But we're back here at the shop. We're doing an update on the Tundra. We kind of left you guys, getting it a little bit cleaned up, pressure washing it a little bit. Lots and lots of fun stuff happened when I attempted to drive it home. Okay, so let's show you guys the truck, how clean it got on the interior. Unfortunately, the interior still smells like hot mouse piss. It turned out pretty clean, and I went to go drive it home. Well, anyway, let me just show you what it did the entire way home. Except it was way, way worse, which is what we're getting ready to show you now. Get in, let's go. Are you ready? Look in that rearview mirror. Last time we did this, it absolutely straight up looked like head gasket smoke, just rolling, and it spits and it stumbles. There we go. Let's fog for some mosquitoes. Look at that. When you're driving it and you're taking it easy, it smokes like a freight train. It's still smoking like a freight train. I'm not quite sure whether it's oil smoke or if it's blown head gasket. But regardless, like once you get going to a normal speed, like once it finally stops and like the spark plugs burn everything off, it runs great. This truck is a good running truck. It idles smooth. It starts up every single time now that we got a fresh battery in it. We are gonna go do an energy drink run, get away from the shop a little bit. The last week since Cooper got me sick, there's been some developments at the shop, and we're just gonna kind of step away for a little bit, relax, de-stress. We're gonna go get some energy drinks, and then we're stopping by the car wash, the old pay and spray, and we're gonna get this thing cleaned up best we can. So let's get after it. We just checked the oil. We're here at Wawa. And before I took this truck home, we made sure that it had the proper oil level. We just checked it and it's barely touching the dipstick. So we have burnt 2 quarts of oil in roughly maybe 60 miles. So I don't know if somebody in the comments can work out the miles per gallon we're getting on our oil.
Quarts per gallon.
Quarts per gallon, yeah, quarts, yeah, miles per quart. That'd be great. It's what, 30 miles per quart? So I think effectively we're a diesel at this point, or a 2-stroke. So we're just gonna dump, it takes 0.20, but yeah, since it's just burning it, we're putting 5W30 in it and sending it. And one thing that we noticed when we were putting oil in this truck last time is the amount of gunk and crud that is in the inside of this motor. If this thing is really burning oil, I don't know if it's because it sat forever. It sat for 5 years, and we've got like a stuck ring or something along those lines. It is entirely possible that we've either got, it can go either one of 2 ways. It's a catastrophic ring failure or internal motor issue, and we're just driving it until she blows up. Or it's possible that we could do the clean out or the formulation or the sea foam or whatever and get that piston ring unstuck. The amount of oil that's coming out of the exhaust pipe it's got to be multiple cylinders with stuck piston rings, or it is a catastrophic failure likely. So this is how dirty the truck is now, mainly because it's been sitting under a tree for about 5 years. It's not even left the parking spot in 5 years. So we're gonna take it up to the car wash and we're gonna get it all cleaned up. So let's get after it. There we go. It's gotta be one of the most satisfying things. There we go, the money shot. 5 years worth of crud. How do you get that chrome though? All right, this is where it gets messy. Ugh. Absolutely filthy up here. The good thing is it sat under a tree, so the paint didn't get absolutely cooked. Bad part is that everything on that tree is now on the paint. All right, it's gonna get real messy. Oh, it's everywhere. Yeah, it's all over my glasses, all over me. That nasty stuff that was in the bed of the truck. All right. Ugh. Get some of the mouse piss out of these carpets. Covered in gross stuff. No, you come here. Yeah. All right, to further fuck up the paint, let's use the brush. Ooh. See if we can't put more scratches in the truck. Ooh, it's squirting everywhere. At least it smells good. Just really apply as maximum pressure against the paint is the key here, you know, to get a really good car wash. Really grind it in there. Do your wheels and then more paint. More paint. Just grind all that brake dust in the paint. Maximum pressure. My arms are tired, your turn. Hey, whoa, the hose is hitting, you're gonna damage the paint. Let me hold your hose. Oh, nope, come here. Really grind it in there, buddy. Re-up on the brake dust. There you go, appreciate that. And right back to the paint. Yes, maximum pressure. Ooh, that didn't come out of the hood, huh? That's some premium algae growth right there. Well, regardless of what we do to it, it's much better than what has happened the last 5 years, I suppose. You wanna re-up on that brake dust real quick? Thank you. There you go. Get in there all deep like. It splooged on ya. Oh my God, it's everywhere. It's in my hair. Triple shot. Gonna need a good hand wash. Oh, yeah, so we're all wrapped up. Now, the next time you guys see this truck, we will be diagnosing why it's burning so much oil. Take a quick look at the walk around. It came out not bad. I think the real cleaning agent here was really the brake dust. Like really using that as a compound to really kind of buff out some of that algae growth on there. I think that was the key, and maximum pressure, obviously. But again, next time you guys see this truck, we'll be diving into getting everything diagnosed of why it's burning so much oil. I think we're probably burning 2 or 3 quarts of oil. The whole purpose of this truck is to use it as our around town tow pig and just as a spare vehicle if we ever need one. We always look for good deals, and again, you know, this truck had been abandoned for about 5 years. Finally figured, let's do something with it. We're kind of at this point now. Next time you guys see this truck, we'll be digging into the oil burning issue. Make 2026 your year, and let's get after it.